So you're thinking about getting a motorcycle. Can you tell the difference between these two bikes? One is a Supersport bike intended for racing on the track. The other is a sports bike intended for everyday use. They're both 600cc engines, they're both street legal. One is intended for comfort and a great ride. The other is based purely on performance and racing. I'll point out the differences, and you can determine what you really want to get. This is the Yamaha R6. This Supersports motorcycle offers an aggressive riding position. An aggressive riding position basically means that it has clip-on handlebars. Clip-on handlebars are great for high-speed cornering and high-speed acceleration, but they do suffer from a lack of cornering ability inside a town at low speeds. The aerodynamic riding triangle creates a very fast motorcycle, but bends your spine in a way that is uncomfortable on longer rides. Also, some people complain about wrist pain, but this is basically caused by riding incorrectly, keeping your arm too straight, and putting a lot of pressure on the forks. If you bend your arm, you won't have wrist pain anymore. Up next is the FC6R. It's basically like you took a Supersport and a standard bike and made them have a baby. The result is a high-performance bike that isn't intimidating, has a comfortable riding position, and sporty looks. The riding triangle on it is set up in a way where it's a combination of aggressive and comfortable. It keeps your spine very straight. This bike is also much better for a passenger compared to a racing bike like an R6. Here's a preview of the clip-ons on an R6. They're great for high-speed performance, but offer no low-speed versatility. Now, this is where the FC6R shines with its taller handlebars, which are good for low speeds and high speeds. Here's a quick preview of the cockpit of an R6. Notice the giant tachometer, but no fuel gauge, and a small speedometer off to the left. This is another area where the FC6R is better for your everyday ride. It has a nice sized tachometer and a fuel gauge and an easy to read speedometer right in the center. This is where it gets to be tough. If you plan on spending a lot of time on the track, the R6 is definitely your bike. But if you just want a sporty looking bike that you can ride every day, get a sports bike like the FC6R or Ninja 650.
I do completely believe that if you can only afford one bike and you have any biking experience at all, go with a sport bike as opposed to just a cruiser or just a Supersport or whatever. Because if you get something like this isn't a true sports bike or a racing bike or whatever, Supersport. So it doesn't have the most optimum handling and all that stuff, but you don't need it. If you're not a pro rider, you don't need the best of the best. Owning an R6 is kind of like owning a race car because it is a racing bike. So it's like owning an F1 car or a Ferrari or something like that, like a really fancy, fast vehicle. Owning this is like owning a Ford Mustang GT. It's like not the most expensive vehicle on the market, and it's not the fastest vehicle on the market, but it's really fast, really awesome car to own, and you're still respectable for owning one. It's not like you bought some crap bike or some crap car, and that's what it's like owning this FC6R. It's just comfortable, it's a good ride, but it's not like owning something that's intimidating, and that's why I like this. It's flickable enough and it feels light. It doesn't feel heavy. The seat height's pretty low, so it's great for that first bike type of thing. Like, I don't know, I still think you should start off on something a little smaller than a 600cc bike, especially this one because it's an inline 4 600cc bike. But, if you really just cannot ever buy anything but one bike, which is ridiculous to think like that, but I know a lot of people do. If you absolutely had to get just one bike forever and ever and ever, I think you should get something like a sport bike, like an FC6R, a Ninja 650R, or the SV650 from Suzuki, something like that, because you can still cruise for long range on this. The seat is so comfortable. You can go fast. I mean, I showed earlier me and Ron doing a 0-60 test, and 0-60 on this is almost the same as 0-60 on my R6. Why? Because I'm not a professional rider. Only professional riders can make those statistics you see mean a bit of anything, because really it doesn't mean anything if you're not a pro rider. But I really think you should build your skills up on something like a Ninja 250 or the new Honda CBR 250. Build your skills, something like that, or even, a Honda Rebel, stuff like that. Just build your skills up on a smaller bike, and then once you've mastered it, once you've mastered the small bike, move up, because that's part of the fun of bikes, anyways. Is you get this little title, like, okay, I'm the master of the Ninja 250. Now it's time to move on to, a Ninja 650R, and then you move up again to the Ninja 1000. Now you're on a big leader bike, and you get all that glory of having a leader bike. Even though I don't think there's any glory in it, I'm going to stick with the 600. That's going to be the biggest sports bike I own. I don't care to own anything bigger, just because it is quick and everything you need. And I don't think the extra weight of a leader bike adds anything to it. The Ninja 1000, not the ZX10, but the actual Ninja 1000, the sport bike version of it. I think it's all the new technology and stuff is really great. I think that would be a bike I'd consider. I'd consider the leader bike version or an FZ1, just because it's got the similar technology to the FZ6R. But then again, that's like the next step up from the 600cc. But as of right now, I'm content with having my R6 and having my Ninja 250 for my daily commute up to work. Only thing the R6 gives me is bigger grins. But it's like this, the Ninja 250 is just a sport bike. It's not a super sport. It's not a racing bike. I mean, there's a racing class for it, but it's not a racing bike. So it's a good everyday commuter. I was told Ron to pass me on my own bike.